You know that sound? It's everywhere. A happy little tune, someone's whistling, or that sharp signal across a park. But have you ever really stopped and thought about the incredible science that's packed into a single, simple whistle? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and see what's going on.
I mean, that's the big question, right? It seems so easy, so effortless, but somehow we're transforming something as basic as our own breath into a pure, controlled musical sound. So, how in the world does that actually happen?
Okay, so at its core, think of it like a recipe with three main parts. First, you need a power source. That's your breath. Then you force it through a tiny little opening. But here's the real magic ingredient. That stream of air has to excite what's called a resonant chamber. That's the thing that turns a simple whoosh of air into a beautiful, clear tone.
To really get what that chamber is, we first have to look at the incredible instrument you were literally born with. And it's not just one single part either. It's more like a whole orchestra with different sections all working together in perfect harmony.
So let's meet the players in this orchestra. You've got your lungs, of course. They're the power station, providing all the air. Your lips, they're responsible for creating that tiny, super precise opening. But you know, the real stars of the show are your tongue and your jaw. Your tongue is constantly moving around, dynamically changing the size and shape of the chamber in your mouth. And that is the absolute key to changing notes. It's this incredibly sophisticated, coordinated dance.
And the crazy thing is, this all happens in a split second, without you even thinking about it. Your lungs push out a steady stream of air, your tongue moves to shape the space just right, your lips form that little opening, and bam, the air flows over the edge and creates that pure tone. Every single note you whistle is this perfect four-step dance happening over and over again.
All right, so we've got the biology down. We know the body parts. But what about the actual physics behind it all? Let's unlock the secret formula that explains why this even works in the first place.
You've totally done this before, right? You take a glass bottle, you blow a steady stream of air right across the opening, and you get that deep, resonant woo sound. Well, believe it or not, that simple little trick is the key to understanding absolutely everything about whistling.
Now, there's a fancy scientific name for this phenomenon. It's called a Helmholtz Resonator. Sounds kind of intense, right? But it's really just a formal way of describing what's happening with that bottle. You have a cavity of air, and it has one little opening. When you blow across it, you make the air inside vibrate at one very specific frequency. And here's the key takeaway. Unlike our vocal cords, which make really complex sounds with all sorts of overtones, this method naturally produces an almost perfectly pure tone. That's why a whistle sounds so clear and flute-like.
And here it is. This is where it all clicks into place. Your mouth is the bottle. The empty space inside the bottle, that's your oral cavity, the inside of your mouth. The small neck of the bottle, that's your pursed lips. And get this, just like a bigger bottle creates a lower sound, making the chamber inside your mouth larger by, say, moving your tongue back, produces a lower-pitched whistle. It's a perfect one-to-one match. You're a walking, talking Helmholtz Resonator.
So now that we've got the science down, let's look at all the different ways people have learned to manipulate this amazing built-in instrument. Because it turns out, there's not just one way to do it.
Yeah, not all whistles are created equal. Depending on what you're trying to do, whistle a song, hail a cab from a block away, or just make a really unique sound, you're going to use a different technique. Each one takes that basic Helmholtz model and modifies it to get a totally different result.
So let's just quickly look at the main styles. You've got your pursed lip whistling. That's the classic one most of us use for melodies because it gives you fantastic, fine-tuned control over the pitch. Then there's the finger-assisted whistle. You know the one I'm talking about. That's all about raw power and volume. Perfect for getting someone's attention. And then you get into the really advanced stuff, like palate whistling, which takes incredible muscle control to produce these super sharp, unique tones.
And honestly, this quote just nails it. It really sums the whole thing up. The best whistlers in the world, they're not just getting lucky. They have this deep, almost intuitive grasp of the science we've just been talking about. They just feel how changing the shape of their mouth or the speed of their breath is going to change the sound. Mastery is just applied science, really.
So, the next time you whistle a tune, just remember what's actually happening. You're not just making some noise. You are a finely tuned biological instrument, and you're expertly manipulating fluid dynamics and acoustic resonance. Pretty cool, right? So the only question left is, what are you going to whistle first?